Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy, and we're back with another title card for SSoHPKC, also known as Seamus, on YouTube, a Let's Player that I've done a million cards for now, so if you don't know who he is, yeah. Okay, guess what we're doing today? It's so exciting. Bam! Pokemon! I want to be the very Seamus, like no Seamus ever was. I can't sing. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we got to isolate this logo. And when I selected it, you'll see what I'm talking about here. When I select the logo, shut up. Never mind. Earlier when I was trying to isolate the logo, I was getting a lot of weird feedback. Let me get a little closer, make sure. Let's go 15 on our tolerance. Delete. See what we get. So basically what I'm worried about is weird aberrations of color on the sides of the logo. So if we get in here really close, you can kind of see that there's like artifacts from when it was compressed from a JPEG, and there's like a little bit of a white line here. I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but I'm really anal about these cards looking nice. So we are going to be getting rid of some of those aberrations, and let's think how we can do this. Basically, like older logos generally have a lot of this kind of stuff going on. So I do this for a good bit of my cards. Okay. Let's go to, we are on poster edges. Yeah, so that helps get rid of like a lot of that nonsense. Let's keep it at a 3. See, I would use a dry brush effect, except that there's like this gradient here on the backs of some of the letters to give it that 3D pop-out effect. So I'm pretty sure if I go to a dry brush and tell it no texture and give it every color it can possibly have, it's still gonna... Let's try cutout, see what we can do with a cutout. Yeah, no, it's totally not. It's not doing us any favors today, so I think this is about as good as we're going to get it. It's taken away quite a bit of what was going on there. So let's say okay with that. And then we're going to go one more time, filter, sharpen, and I'm going to go to smart sharpen. Oh my gosh, what was I doing the last time? That's quite a bit, huh? Okay. Yeah, when, you know, that's the one nice thing about when he does newer games. A lot of times they have like press packages that have the logos in them and they look all nice and beautiful and whatever. So adding that little bit of like a punch of sharpness and kind of like sharpening up the edges really helps. But now what it's done is I've made more problems for myself. I'm actually going to get rid of this. Breaking the law. But now what it's done is, through the sharpening process and getting it all nice and clean, we have now got some more little artifacts around the sides. And the way I think I'm going to deal with this is I'm going to double click on the layer and go to, let's do stroke first. Let's say inside. Let's take that blue. Let's take it down to 2, and let's say, let me try multiply first. Let's go a little lighter on the blue. Okay, so let's go as light as we can on the blue. So I think that'll do. There's little things like this that I can just go in with a brush and one thing I'm pretty happy about, I don't know if Seamus is so happy about it, but YouTube has done away with a lot of other image sizes. So usually, like when I would do banners for him, or not banners, title cards and thumbnails and all that stuff, I would do multiple sizes and versions so that all his bases would be covered. Also, why is this like the most not gray ever? Okay, there we go. But YouTube has recently done away with a lot of their channel sizing and stuff, so thankfully, I'm just rostering this layer. Thankfully, I have a lot less work to do now, so I can spend a little more time on the art. Not that it's like a huge hassle to do them in other sizes, but oh, I knew there was another. Clean this up. And then we'll get to the fun part. We'll do the art. I promise. I'm just making sure the logo looks peachy keen so I don't have to worry about it later. I'm just going to try one last thing here. I'm going to select this blue. Goodness gracious. Little bit of bleed. Just a teens. Cool. Okay. So there is our logo. All shiny and perfected and all that good stuff. Sadly, I am going to have to make it smaller, but I'm going to duplicate this, and this is going to be logo, layer, actually logo big, and then this will be logo small. Okay. So I'm thinking about that size. The one nice thing about the Pokemon logo is whoever designed the American one, it's so colorful and interesting that I don't have to worry about it getting too lost amongst art. Like seriously, whoever designed it was like a fucking genius, because it is very nice looking compared to a lot of logos I've seen for like kids stuff. And also for fun, I am going to change the font of the number to Pokemon Solid. Where'd it go? I guess it's too big. There it is. Okay. Can I take 100? Can I take 120? Yeah. I don't know. He might not like this, actually. I can already hear him sending it back to me and being like, change it. Let's put a 10 gap. No. Let's put a... Come on, man. I don't know if I like this. Like, I don't know if I like the font with the... What does the number symbol look like? Because I know a lot of times he'll use the number symbol. Oh, I don't know if I like this so much. I was all excited because I found it. I was like, oh boy, now I can do the thing, but I don't like the thing. let's do I'm just thinking, sorry. Let's do outer, no. Let's just fudge around for a while. I want to try to mimic the logo, but with effects that I know, like, won't boggle his mind. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed with the Pokemon font. Like, at least the numbers. And then let's do the interior in yellow. I don't know, I guess it does look okay. I guess the number symbol maybe is what's bothering me. It's a little ridiculous. That looks okay. That looks okay. Okay, I'm happy again. I had like a little moment of not happiness, but I'm good again. Can I do a gradient overlay on that shadow? What about on an outer glow? Oh, I can on an outer glow. Okay, never mind. We're gonna do an outer glow. Here, let me bring my window over so you can see. Full screen. Okay, so we're gonna want to go dark, 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 and then it's the lightest I can find. Then light, 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 and make sure the opacity on this guy is set to, actually, get out of here. Okay, there we go. And then I'm gonna go big. Huh. What's going on here? I messed it up. Yeah. No, we're gonna have to do a drop shadow. I was so excited for a minute there. I thought I had figured out something really cool. If only the drop shadow used a gradient, but I don't know how to do that. Poop. Yep. Yep. Not happy. Okay, well, whatever. We'll just leave that for now. He's probably gonna maybe give me some guff and huff about it. I'm not sure. Okay, one more thing. I'm having too much fun, like, trying to mimic the Pokemon logo. Oh wow, that like affects the, did not think of that. That's interesting. I never knew that inner shadow and drop shadow were linked to each other. That's not a bad thing, it's just different. I didn't know that. Okie dokie. So there we go. That's kind of like a rough little Pokemon effect for the numbers. Okay, so number, that's in its own little folder. I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing over here. Let's go logo for a folder, and we'll put the logo in there. And now we'll do the fun part. So, without giving too much away, my understanding is that he's going to be doing some of the Nuzlocke challenge. Like I don't think he's going to be playing any specific Pokemon game or anything. So I think I have a lot of freedom to just kind of do whatever I want. I'm going to draw a PP. No. So let's mark where everything's gonna be. So this is, okay, 1 second, I gotta turn something off here. I gotta turn like 18 things off. Okay, 1 second. I'm just gonna write down a timestamp, 1520. Okay, just in case any windows showed up there, I can edit them out. And we're back. Okay, so let's do just kind of give a rough idea of where the logo is. I like to give it a little bit of like a danger zone around the logo, so I know not to put anything too important like right up against the letters, you know. And then same goes with number. Okay, and then there's also a timestamp that's usually about this big in the corner. So yeah, we don't have a whole lot of room for art, but we're gonna make it work. It'll be good. It's okay if I cut off a little bit of like the Pokemon logo. Like if like some hair or like part of his face or something like overlaps on the corners of the N, as long as you can still see, you know, that it's an N, it's pretty good to go. I don't like worry too much about it, but anyway. So yeah, the timestamp is down here, like when you see it on your subscription page or on his channel, it'll have like the little number down there. If you're not familiar with the YouTubes, then I'm sorry. Okay, so like I said, we have such a variety to choose from, and this is gonna be so fun because I've drawn in the Pokemon style a little bit, but never like really sat down and was like, yeah, this is, you know, like I spent time doing it. I usually just kind of threw something out there or whatever for a friend. But so now we're going to actually have some time to do the things that we want to do. And I also think it's really interesting. I was looking here, I stopped playing, I think I stopped playing on her. I can't remember which one this is. I just had my game out the other day and I'm blanking on which one it was, but yeah, so anyway, I didn't realize that when they released Black and White 2 that they changed the art style so much. Like, I had some trouble recognizing this. I was just like, what is that? And then this is X and Y, and they're going back to a more traditional style where the eyes are really like elongated and, you know. So anyway, we're going to have a lot of fun with this. So this is what we've got to work with. So let's take our canvas and put it in a new window without borders so that we have a lot more room to work. So let's go to 11 by, I don't know, like 6. See, now we have all this extra room. I'm actually going to go a little taller. And I will temporarily shut the original file, and this will be my working file now. I like doing this for some reason because, like, I'd rather draw outside of the completed file and then just, like, import the finished work in. I don't know, it's a habit I started doing because I felt really, confined by my my panties. No, I felt really confined by the original setup, like, because I always my words are getting all jumbled while I'm trying to save this. So, TC Poka rough. There we go. So I always felt like at the beginning I would set up exactly how I wanted the image to look, and then I would try to like draw within the constraints of my composition. That's the word I'm looking for, Jesus. And oh, I love those glasses. I want those glasses are great. So I would always feel like really confined by my original composition and my original plans. So it's kind of nice to work outside of that. You know what? So I'm really torn here. Like, I'm seeing all these great shapes and stuff. I like this because this reminds me of Seamus's hair. But I don't really like the fact that the bangs are kind of null and void. They're gone. They're gone. You can't see the bangs. So I think I'm gonna do some sort of like this with the other, but not so much a palm tree. So we'll work it out here. Okay, so let's first set up how we want our beauteous butte to look. And hopefully it does not lag like this the whole time. Let me switch to a thicker brush. I'm also going to give him eyebrows. Unlike a lot of the Pokemon characters who have like whisper thin eyebrows. And their nose is just like a little... I always give him like this really like cockeyed grin for some reason. I'm not sure why. So, what are the necks like? Oh my goodness, that's a pumpkin on a stick, ain't it? Those are some skinny necks. Okay. Fight the urge. Give them the skinny necks. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I have a doctor's appointment today to get stitches removed from my head. Hurrah. So, definitely have to do Pokeball. Let's do a little shoulder action. Shapy hair. Everybody knows I'm in love with shapy hair. Everybody. Okay. So we're gonna play with this, don't worry. Like if something doesn't look right, don't panic. You can't do anything anyway. Me. Oh my gosh, their shoulders are so small. Fight it, Emmy. Fight it! Once you start to kind of settle into like a few different styles that you always work in, when you have to like suddenly and abruptly switch to somebody else's, you're just like, ah, and you want to fix it, you know? It's funny because the original art really doesn't like bother me. I in fact really like this style. It's just it's uncomfortable to draw in, you know? It's like suddenly having to change your left hand or something. What the? That sounded, I don't know if you guys heard that, but there was a train horn that just went by. It scared Emmy. Hey, you jerks. I'm like not liking this. Oh, look at them all smiling. I hate them. Okay. We're changing it up. I want the Pokeball to be like a focal point. It's basically the most iconic thing about the series. I might also do maybe more of the manga style, just so that the face is a little more shapely. Again, I love Ken's work, but in the manga, the heads are a little more curvaceous, and the eyes feel a little more socketed, and like, see how there's just this tiny little line underneath indicating where the bottom of the eye is? In the manga, the bottom line is a little more defined. And like noses are a little more, everything's just, it's more defined. It's not so, not defined? I don't know. Let's try bringing his shoulders up and see how that goes. Shoulders up, neck turned. Should have asked him if he had like a favorite Pokeball before I abruptly signed off there. So I'm going to move the Pokeball away from his face a little bit because I don't want it to cut that off. How does he draw fists? Any forward-facing fists would be really nice. Nothing? Nothing? No, no, no. No, 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 no. Okay, whatever. That kind of looks awkward anyway, to have his other hand in the frame. It still doesn't feel quite... Let's go there, be a cut. Straighten this arm out. Well, first, where's the hand? Kind of like that. Sorry that there's like so much finagling when I do these cards. It's just, especially when I'm on camera, I try to do them a little quicker than I normally would. I also think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have like the kind of like the anime Pokeball effect where it's like sort of like the lightning. And I'll have that going up behind the logo. Pokemon! So excited! I can't wait to see him do this. In fact, I don't know if any Let's Players I watch do Pokemon. I'm having like some kind of weird moment here. Like I watch some speedrunners who I've seen do it, but it's not like a traditional game of Pokemon where they're just, you know, out pissing around with catching Pokemon. They're like, they're in it to win it in like 5 minutes, you know what I mean? So, a little bit different. Okay, I am just too excited. We have to get going on this. Let's do multiply, turn it way down. Turn this way down. You guys can probably barely see that. That's okay though. You'll need to see it. And let's ink it with my roughy brush. Okay. So I've kind of been looking at it for a while now from that direction, so let's go this way. Let me save this real quick. Refs. Okay. Just in case. Photoshop is wanting to screech to a dead halt. I can hear my poor computer just being like, whoa. How come the guides never face the other direction? They're all facing. Okay, whatever. I'll just do what I want then. So it's like, what? Okay, whatever. I'll do it. Uh, you know, one thing I like about the Pokemon world is that when I was a kid and I was like super into Pokemon, I always wanted to live there because I felt like their whole world was about the Pokemon. And when I say like their whole fucking world, I mean like all their clothes and shit. Like if you're unfamiliar with like the Pokemon games or the manga or any part of it, it's like everything they wear, everything they cook with. It's like, what's that? Put a Pokeball on it. What's that? Tampon? Put a Pokeball on it. What's that? Condom? Put a Pokeball on it. Like, it had nothing to do with Pokemon. Like, there's shit in their daily lives. It's like, I need a morphine. Yeah, it's the ones with the Pokeballs on it. You know, it's like, geez, it's kind of a lot, don't you think? It does make me wonder if, like, the sex toys in their world has a Pokeball on it. But I always loved that, you know, like, if you've ever read Dinotopia, like, everything in the Dinotopia world is shaped like a dinosaur. Surprise. But, like, wouldn't it be weird if we lived like that? Like, if literally everything that we owned had some facsimile of the natural world on it? Like, I don't know, it seems like a really strange existence. That everything has, like, the exact same kind of motif to it. But I guess that sort of unrealistic world building is cool. Like, as a kid, I thought that was balls. I just thought it was awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little tricky here. Okay. So I did one eye. And then I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna actually flip it. And put it over here. So now I definitely know that that structure is symmetrical. It just saves me a little bit of time too. So I'm already not pleased. If you're new to my videos of me just sitting around drawing, it is the Emmy of 1,000 not pleases. Come on. Come on, you can do it. There we go. I take a lot of shortcuts like this when I digitally ink, because I do. Especially when I'm drawing something that's really graphic and not in like, oh my god, so gory, Seamus's head is coming off, but like graphic is in, there's like a real particular way that it needs to look, like a, you know, like Hello Kitty is a really good example of something that's very like graphic, meaning if Hello Kitty is a little off model, you know right away, because like she has a very particular set of measurements that they use, like when they draw her. So same thing with Simpsons characters. They're broken down into like very refined shapes, and I think you could argue that to a certain degree with the Pokemon characters in like their anatomy for each game. Like if they're a little off model in that game, we're not talking to you two. Get out of here. But like if they're a little off model from this, it's pretty noticeable, I think. So I'm going to try to keep it looking relatively not terrible. And let's do a little some anime underlash there. Let's be bolden on the ear. Okay, so now we have his face. Let's do his hair. I actually want to look at a recent drawing I did for him that is huge, so let me find the one that's not huge. So this one is so goofy. I was really worried I wasn't going to like it, but he seemed to like it okay. I just thought it was so weird looking, but I don't, not like in a bad way, it's just I kind of went a little overboard, I think. I was like, woo, draw Seamus, draw however I want. So we got to make that look like this, like take it from one style to the other. So one thing I'm going to do here is put a filter on so I can see just what I'm doing. Now, I was looking at the other banners when I did this one, like for the other creatures, and I was like, oh man, I gotta make it kind of mesh, you know, but still have it stand apart. So this is kind of what I settled on. The first banner I did for him, I felt really uncomfortable about drawing it for some reason. I felt like I didn't want him branded by a single image drawn by a single person. So I gave him a banner that I made from a photo of him. And I think he was like, about it. And was just like, yeah, just draw it. So I was like, but then after looking at the other creatures channel banners, I realized they all were just drawn by somebody, you know, and they were content with that. And I needed to just shut up and do my fucking job. So also, some folks were asking why I didn't do his Kingdom Hearts thumbnail or his, what was the other one? GTA 5. I did his San Andreas thumbnail, but not the other one. Those two banners, we just couldn't get a hold of each other. I was in Sequoia at the time on a vacation with my family. He was sick, and I think we just kept like not crossing paths. Like I kept leaving my Skype on and I would miss him. And yeah, so he got another artist to fill in. So I didn't do those two. I apologize. I was worried. Like when I found out I missed two, I was like, ah, shit, this is end times for Emmy as far as being a creature artist, but he seemed okay about it. He's pretty laid back. I don't think he'd like give me the can over something like that. So let's see here. Maybe we could put a cool looking notch in it. I like that. It's different. It's not like the other stuff, I guess. Notch and hat, copyright Emmy, 2013. Okay, so let's do the rest of this. I forget what these are called, like visors, I guess. Oh man, he's got clothes. I forgot about that. Guess I don't need that anymore for now. I'm trying to see where the head connects. I'm gonna have to use the girls since their heads are turned more than the guys. Not really, actually. Ugh, man. I really don't like how the neck is like here. Like it doesn't connect to the skull. I find that very... Like I would put the neck here. In fact, yeah, I'm doing it. Forget all you people. I'm gonna straighten this finger. And I'm gonna I'm gonna have like fingerless gloves on. I keep stopping on these two. They're just haunting me for some reason. I prefer the hands that are a little more like this. They're really simple looking. That's kind of like the hands I draw by default, so we're going with those. Oops. Okay, so now we have to do the Pokeball. What are you doing? Photoshop's having a moment, I think. Also, if you hear me sighing, I'm not being like, I'm not like, like, oh, it's fucking drawing. I'm just having a good old sigh. Okay, now we have to go in and erase a little bit so you can see the edge of the ball. And I don't, this finger here, this is kind of bugging me. I don't know, it's like too long or set in there, kind of. Okay, that looks a little better. I think it was just a little out of position for my taste. It doesn't have to be perfect, just enough that I won't like cry all night about it. Oh, what's a good way to do the... I feel like I once saw art from something back in the early days of Pokemon, like when it wasn't really well defined yet, and I could have sworn I saw some images of like clear Pokeballs like in the Pokemon universe, like where you could see the little Pokemon asleep in its little Pokeball. I know in the anime there was something like that where they showed like a cross section, but I don't know if that's what it was. I remember it had like a shine on it and everything. It was, I wonder what, it might have been from like an unofficial guide. I had a bad habit of buying those when I was younger. I'm trying to think if there's been anything going on in my life lately. I don't know. I've got nothing to talk about. Just drawing me some Pokémons. I got a personal trainer. It's not quite as glamorous as it sounds. I injured my hip a long time ago, and then proceeded to re-injure it about 1,000 times. And it never quite healed right or something. I don't know. It had something to do with the socket, but doctors could never give me a straight answer about what exactly was going on. And for like a while there, I was worried I was going to need surgery or something. But so I jog, but my gait is really strange because of it. Because like for so many years I compensated with the other side. So I want my gait to be a little more solid. So I got a personal trainer who's helping me strengthen my left side. Oh my god, it sucks. He's not like working me terrible or anything, but because that side is so weak after all this time, he'll have me do like an exercise that you can only do on one side, and it's like I'll do it on my right side and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, this is fine, whatever, and then as soon as I switch to my left I'm like, nope, I'm dying. So so it's gonna take a while for me to get used to it and get that other side strengthened up, and then once that's done I want to learn to box for no reason. I don't know why, I just want to learn to box. I think boxing's neat. I like it. I would also like to learn to kickbox. I'd beat all y'alls up. No, I wouldn't. I'd run home crying. I'd be like, no, leave me alone. Alright. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. I just can't get over this freaking scarf. What the hell, dude? Okay, let's, so all the characters have kind of this simple, like, V-neck or, like, a dark thing going on there. Just sadly on mine, you can't really see that. Let's see here. If he makes me change the hat, I'm gonna cry. I like the hat. I also need to do some Halloween work for him. And a tiny itty bitty part of me wants him to do his Princess Peach costume again. Just so I can draw him in that. Okay. Oh, you know what would be fun? After I kind of get this going a little more, I will show you guys a Pokemon drawing I did of myself. How fun. It's fun. It's fucking fun. You're gonna like it. Okay. Ugh, his face. God damn it. You're all probably sitting there laughing at me. think it'll be an easy-ish fix. Yeah, I think that eye just need to come up a little more. I feel like I'm drawing this all wrong, but I mean, this is kind of what their proportions are. Okie dokie. So one thing I need to do here is not cry. Wow. I'll get to what I was going to say in a second. What I need to do is isolate this arm that's coming into the foreground. Little patented ash lightning bolts, if I can make one that looks decent. There we go. So I'm not joking. Go look at Ash. He's got these like little lightning bolts on his face. I think they're supposed to be really stylized underlashes. I feel like I'm working on Pokemon. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is go back out to 50. I'm going to connect the lines all on this side, and then sorry, I'm just thinking how I want to do this. Let's go ahead and go a little overzealous on that edge. And select, 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 select. No. Okay. By the way, if you ever see me like expanding my selections like without doing anything, it's because I have it set up to a hotkey that lets me do that. Come on, you can do it, computer. Oh, there it goes. I got a little stuck. Alrighty. So one last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this effect up here. Let's do it with, just to make my life a little easier, let's do it with the lasso tool. Okay. So this effect I'm going to... Oh my god, does the Pokeball need to be open? No, it doesn't. I make the rules. Pokeball doesn't have to be open now. Okay, so... I don't want it. I don't want it to be open. I'm sorry, this face is just... I'm gonna cry. No, I just, I want it to look nice, so... Sniff. I'm gonna try one last thing. If I don't like it, then, you know, forget it. I don't even know if that makes like a noticeable... You know what? It looks better that way in my navigator, which is about the size it'll be when it is on YouTube, so I'm gonna go with it. All I'm gonna do is refine a few of these little edges where they got a little mucked up. And he is like really anti-bangs for some reason. I notice a lot of these characters don't really have bangs. It's okay to have bangs. Okay, let's go. Let's do this thing. Wait, one last thing. I can do what I want, leave me alone. Sorry, I just felt like adding out like a little tiny bit of detail on the sleeve since it's like basically the only thing you really see. Okay, so I think that's good to go. I am going to just stop the recording momentarily to give Photoshop a little breather, and I'll be right back. Bye! Okay, and we're back. I brought it over into the main file. The only thing I did was I moved the hand up a little bit, just because it looked a little funky, so that's the only difference. Yep, so now what we're gonna do is, yeah, we're gonna go like this, delete, and I think I'm gonna bring the logo down into the art layer, which is like a first for me, and I kind of knew, I just sort of had this inkling that it was gonna clip over the end a little bit, so yep, and then we're gonna go back and get the effect that we made in the rough file. Come on. Put that on top. Oh, yeah, that's right. I moved it a little bit, so we're just going to compress it. So the effect needs to be under the logo but above the Pokeball. Well, you know what I could do? I can break the effect into two parts and hide it right here. So let's do that. Let's do a cut here. So we'll label these layers effect above and effect below. We'll put that below the logo. And I kind of already know what I want to do for the background. I just want it to be like one of those wild, funky, like anime type, like whatcha. You know what I mean, right? So we are gonna do like a really wild pop of yellow in the middle, and then let's do a blue. And could I even sneak a red onto the sides? Okay. Now I have a pre-made, well, I have a few pre-made things, but one of them should be this. I'm gonna use right here. And nah, I don't want it to be any. Okay, I think that'll be good for the background for now. Just so I can get an idea of the color and stuff. And then this I want to be white. Same thing with that. And then now to do the effect. Or effects or whatever. So I put the stroke there basically to see what I was working with, though I kind of like that, where it's like you can see like a little piece missing. I'm just seeing if it has any effect on the... No, it doesn't really. Okay. So the only thing I'm going to do a little different on the effect above is a lot of the power right there is getting lost. So I'm actually going to take the inner glow down a little bit. Wait, that's the outer glow. I meant the inner glow, sorry. I was going to say, it doesn't look like it's getting any better. Okay. Effect above, effect below. Let's do a white. Now, I may have to stop this because, like I said earlier, I do have a doctor's appointment I've got to go to, and I really can't afford to miss it. I want these staples out, like, so bad. So... Okay. And... do I want to blur that at all? I mean... yeah, it doesn't really look like anything when you blur it, I guess. Okay, sorry. I'm just experimenting. So... now we're going to start doing the color on the Shamus. So one thing is that these characters are very painted, like washed out almost. Like, in fact, the original ones were paint. Now they do kind of like this digital blending, blurry kind of technique. In fact, let me see if I can get really close. And it's pretty pixelated from the reference I'm using. But if you can like see how it's like a little soft and washy in places, that's like a very trademark thing of the official game art. I personally just don't think it'll look very good on as a thumbnail because it's just too soft, I guess. So I'm gonna just kind of stick to like a cell shading, but try to use the Pokemon palette, I guess. Maybe a little more saturated though. Do any of these characters have blonde hair that I can steal? Steal it. Her. Okay, great. Great. I was starting to worry. Actually, I forgot his eyebrows. That is so pale. There. Now he won't look like a piece of paper. One sec, got an eyelash in my eye. Get rid of that. So let's go kind of steal our that red is just too powerful. That's a little better. Now, I know this looks a little Christmassy, but I swear I will make it better. Put your faith and trust in me. So I'm thinking about doing kind of like a blue sleeve thing. So I notice the characters, a lot of times their sleeves like are a different color. My only fear though is that it gets a little lost. I don't mind this. A lot of this is going to get covered up by the timestamp anyway, so I probably shouldn't spend too much time worrying about it. Okay, let's do some shading. None of them have very... That's so interesting that he's just, a lot of times on the characters' faces, he just puts like a shadow. Like he doesn't even like really define, like even him, where, I mean, he's got a little bit of a bill from his hat, but it's just like, you know, just like straight across. I'm getting a lot of lag. Uh-oh, I think I might sneeze. Sniff. Stay away, sneeze. You are not welcome here. So... oh boy. Okay. I was a little nervous there, but I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna be okay. I can't believe I'm taking a Pokemon card. Or a Pokemon thumbnail, so... So dire. I kind of wish that I could put this video up as a speed draw with like the Pokemon theme playing. Or like one of the 6,000 remixes. That would be so cool. Ain't gonna happen though. Because I gotta pay my bills. And if I have the Pokemon theme, then I can't monetize. Remember the good old days of YouTube where people just put up whatever they wanted? Copyright or not, it was going up. Okie dokie. So I realize you can probably barely see that. So that's what we're going to have to do. Okay, so now we have to do all the cell shading. So we're going to select everything that is lighter. So like blues and whites, those are like cool colors. So we're going to select those and we're going to change to a blue. And actually for the whites, what's going on here? Oh, that's right, I used like a slightly different shade of white on the other stuff. Okay, sorry, having a moment. Just gonna make that a little lighter. And then we're gonna take the reds and those. Oops, no, I want to go like this. I want to go darker on the reds. And then on his hair and skin, I want to go lighter. So it's not quite so orange. And oh, you know what? I was gonna do a logo on his hat. Let's do that real quick. What do you think? I think it looks decent, which is all you can ever ask for. One last thing I want to do is put some color on the lines to kind of set them back a little bit. I realize this goes against everything about cell shading, but I just think it'll look a little nicer. Okay. God. Basically, I just need to keep an eye on it in the navigator to make sure that it still looks good at a smaller size. Huh, this kind of reminds me of the Mario hat a little bit. I didn't really intend that, but that's okay. Maybe the logo would look better above everything. I think it does. Poop. And put a correction in. Just looks like one. There we go. Let's do darker outline on the button. And I think that'll be good. And then we just have to do an overlay. Oh, it's really bugging me. Okay. It's so fun. I always send him these files and I'm just like, oh god, please don't like screw around with any of the art stuff because it's just wild down there. It is a lawless land down where the art exists in this file. So I do realize that like this is in shadow and you probably wouldn't be able to see any shine, but tough, this is Animu and you have to deal with it. You have to. I'll make it a little lighter. And then he has a little stripe-oo in his hair. I think that's so neat about him. I've never said anything to him about it, but I knew a kid in school who had that as well, like a little lighter part. I think he had a birthmark there or something. I just think it's neat. Alrighty, I think that looks pretty good. It's filled with Seamus-y power. I'm so tempted to smoosh this all into one. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. Deep breath. Whatcha! It's all one layer now. See? Boop, 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 boop. And then do the same with the effect. Bam. That way, when I file to him, it will not be a gargantuan mess of a mess. This is called cheating, so that the Pokeball is a little ill-defined and I don't have to draw it open. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible. Just let me get rid of a little bit of that so you can still see the red. And let's put one little color adjustment layer on here. Basically what I do is I usually duplicate the background and then I put it on a filter. Let's see if I find one I like. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't, so yeah, it doesn't need it. Some of my other ones, though, they kind of need it. I can't see that anymore. Where'd it go? What's going on? Oh, this is weird. I must have clicked on something. What'd I do? Oh god, things are happening. Madness. Oops. This is what I get for messing around. Sorry. Let's do one last thing. I feel bad. I feel like this video needs to be 16 hours long. You don't have anything to do today, don't worry about it. Let's do, I think I have a tone I could use here. Wild. I love it. Wait, it's in the wrong spot. Crap. It's gonna be a little off from those spokes. Oh well. I still think it looks really cool and fun. Yay, Pokemans. Okay, cool. Let's just look at it a little closer. We don't have to be 2 miles away for some reason. Yeah, I hope he likes it. I hope you guys like it. I hope the whole world likes it. Let's just all yay. Okay, great. So, I guess I'll see you next time. Also, this is not the final card. It could change at any minute. Who knows? Whatever he asks, I'll do. So, keep that in mind. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye!